So now this is the topic parallel force system. What is this parallel force system means? Suppose if two or more forces acting on one lever, Lever is nothing but it's like a rigid object. It's like same like one rod or bone. Suppose humerus, it is like one lever. The bone is acting as one lever, one object. Okay, one object. Suppose what is this parallel force system? Two or more forces acting on one object. Two or more forces acting on one object. One object, and there should be a distance between these two objects. There should be a distance between these two objects. In the middle, axis will be there. Axis nothing but fulcrum. Axis will be there. Fulcrum. So two or more forces acting on one lever. There is a some distance between these two forces and some distance between axis. Understand? The distance between these two forces. This is the distance between these two forces, and this force is maintaining some distance from the axis, and this force is maintaining some distance from the axis. And the forces, and these two forces are able to rotate the lever. So then they will say that these forces are in parallel force. Okay, parallel force nothing but two or more forces acting on one lever. There should be a distance between two levers, and there should be a distance between axis to the lever, axis to the force, axis to the this force, and axis to the this force. There should be a distance, and these two forces are able to rotate the lever. If this force is acting, it will rotate like this. If this force is acting, it will rotate like this. So these are the parallel force system. Now we will see the types of the levers. Here we are having first order, second order, and third order. First, second, third. Three types of the levers. So first we will see first order lever. So here lever will be there, and then so here one end effect will be there, one end resistance will be there. In the middle axis will be there. Axis means fulcrum. So now these three. Now this is parallel force system. First order lever. In first order lever, axis will be in the center of the lever. In first order lever, fulcrum will be in the center of the lever. So the distance from axis to the resistance, will tell resistance arm. Okay, the distance between effect to the axis is called as effect arm. Effect arm. So resistance arm also called as resistance force. Here this is effective force. So in this first order lever, axis will be in the center of the lever. Resistance will be at the one end. Effect will be at the one end. And one more point in this same. Now this is lever. In this lever, suppose axis is here. This is effect. This is resistance. So here effect arm is small compared to the resistance arm. But whatever axis is in the middle of effect arm and resistance arm. This is one case. This is one variety in first order lever only. Now second variety. Same like classic Busano. Here resistance will be there. Here effect will be there. At the center axis will be there. So here effect arm is equal to the resistance arm. Now third variety. Suppose one lever is there. So we are having axis here. This is resistance. This is effort. So that here effect arm is more compared to the resistance arm. So this is first order lever. This is first order lever. So in this first order lever, the effect arm will be equal to resistance arm, or maybe greater than resistance arm, or maybe less than resistance arm. Effect arm may be equal to resistance arm, or maybe greater than resistance arm, or maybe less than resistance arm. So this is the first order lever. So what is the use of this lever? So here we are having lever, first order lever. Axis is there. Axis nothing but fulcrum is there. Resistance is here. Effect is here. So what is the use of this lever means? Here resistance and effort. Effort means it is going to do some effort to create the rotation. To create the rotation of lever. Here resistance also going to give, resistance also work. It is going to give a resistance. Okay. So why we need rotation? To produce any movement, we need rotation. In kinematics we saw types of the movement. In these types we saw rotatory movement, that means angular and translational, that is linear movement, and then curvilinear movements. So in these three movements we need rotation movement. It is purely rotation. Translator movement, even though translator movement is happening, elbow joint, shoulder joint will rotate. There we need rotatory movement. And curvilinear motion, if we are doing curvilinear motion, here also we need rotation of the shoulder and rotation of the elbow. So here rotation motion is that important. So according to this basic parallel force system, what is parallel force system? A force should be here. It has to create the rotation of the lever on a fixed axis. So this is the use of the lever. It is going to produce the rotatory movement on the lever. Okay, that's it. Now come very classic example. We will see a very classic example for lever. So here seesaw will be there. Here this axis. Here one child will sit. Here one more child will sit. So if this child is effect, suppose if this child is effect, this child is resistance we are taking. So here effect arm is equal to the resistance arm. Suppose if the child is going to give more pressure on the seesaw, then seesaw will come down. So effect arm will come down. Here this one will go up, like this. So this chain will come down, this chain will go up. So this is, so here who created rotation? This effect arm created rotation. So this chain created rotation. This is the classic example of the lever, first order lever. Okay. Now second order lever. Suppose this is our lever. Here in the center resistance will be in the center. So this is our axis, this is our effort. So here what will happen? The distance between axis to the effect is more. Effect arm is more. So this is effect arm is more, and resistance arm is less. In this second order lever, the resistance will be in the center of the lever. Effect to axis, distance is more, effect arm is more, and then resistance arm is less. If you come to first order lever, effect arm will be equal to resistance arm, or maybe less than resistance arm, or maybe greater than resistance arm. But here it is different. Here second order lever, effect arm will be big and resistance arm will be less. Okay. Now third order lever. So here lever is there. In this Effect will be in the middle. Effect will be in the middle of the lever. Effect will be in the middle of the lever. Middle of the lever. So here axis will be there at the one end and resistance will be there at one end. Resistance will be there at one end. Now you see the distance between axis to effect is effect arm. Here effect arm is less and the distance between axis to resistance. Axis to resistance is resistance arm. So here resistance arm is more. Here resistance arm is large. Here effect arm is small. Okay. This is third order lever. In third order lever, effect arm will be in the center. Effect will be in the center of the lever. Okay. Now we will see three levers. Okay. First order, second order, third order levers. First order, second order. First order lever, which is in the center, axis, nothing but fulcrum. It will be in the center of the lever. Second order, resistance will be in the center. Third order, effect will be in the center. So mnemonic means ARD, R. Okay, ARD, R. So this is the mnemonic. First order lever, A will be in the middle. Second order lever, resistance will be in the middle. Third order lever, effect will be in the middle. And one more. In this first order levers, effect arm may be equal to resistance arm. It can be equal to resistance arm, or may be greater than resistance arm, or may be less than resistance arm. But here, second order lever, effect arm is greater than resistance arm always. Effect arm is greater than resistance arm always. In third order lever, effect arm is less than resistance arm always. In third order lever, effect arm is less than resistance arm always. Okay. In these three levers, what is the views means? All these three levers are going to create the rotation. Rotation movement of the lever. Now we will see examples of these three levers in human body. Okay. So now these are the human body. Some example for the levers. This is first order lever. This is second order lever. This is third order lever. First we'll go very nicely. Okay. First order lever. Axis will be in the center. So here this is our cervical spine. This head. This is anterior. This is posterior. So axis will be over atlantoaxial joint for the flexion extension movement. Axis will be over the, here we are taking atlantoaxial joint, here A in the center. Now second order lever, resistance will be in the center because ARD is our mnemonic, ARD. So here center portion should be resistance. So this is our toe portion, foot portion, and this is our leg portion. When the heel is rising up, the body of the weight, line of gravity will come here. The body weight, line of gravity. So here resistance will be here. That is gravity resistance. And third one, E should be in the middle. So suppose if elbow is the axis, so here we will be having biceps muscle insertion. This insertion is nothing but acting as a effect. So ARE. Now we will see how it is going to be we'll see. So first order lever, axis will be in the atlantoaxial joint. Here we will be having extensors of the neck. So here the total, this is skull. No? So gravity is going to work down. So now this is effort. See, this is resistance force. This is extensor muscle force, effort. This is resistance. Now you see first order lever is here. Axis in the middle, resistance one end, effect one end. So now these two are in same distance. Effect arm is equal to resistance arm. So if we want extension movement, effect arm should create downward rotation. If it create downward rotation, head will move in this direction. This is first order lever human body example. Now second order, see here, resistance is there always. I mean resistance is there already because of the line of gravity, body weight. If you lift like this, the line of gravity will come forward. It will come forward. That we discussed the relocation of the center of gravity. It will come forward. Then from here, line of gravity will come. So now here it is the MTP joints, metatarsophalangeal joint. Metatarsophalangeal joint work as the axis. Metatarsophalangeal joint work as axis. This is our axis. This is our axis. And now we are doing heel raise. Heel raise is happening because of this. Which muscles? Calf muscles. Because of this calf muscles. Calf muscles. Where these muscles are going to insert? Calcaneum. These are going to insert at the calcaneum. This is effort force. This is effect force. Now see, second order lever is here. Second order lever is here. What is this? Resistance will be in the middle. So now effect arm will be big. Compared from here to effect to axis, effect arm will be big. Effect arm is greater, and here this is resistance arm. Resistance arm is less than effect arm. This is second order lever. Second order lever. Now third order lever. So here we saw already effect arm is because of the insertion of the biceps. Here biceps muscle will be there. So here elbow joint is our axis. Elbow joint is our axis, and here this is forearm segment. This is hand segment. Forearm segment and hand segment. If we see the segmental center of gravity, forearm and hand segment together center of gravity will be here. Together center of gravity will be here. So gravity always act downward direction. So here this is going to act as a resistance. This is going to act as a resistance. So now you see here third order lever is present here. Third order lever is present here. Effect is in the middle. Axis at the one end. Resistance at the one end. The effect arm is less here. Resistance arm is more. Resistance arm is large. So here resistance arm is less, effect arm is more. Here resistance arm is more, effect arm is less. So these are the human body examples for the levers. Clear?